Vibe Nut here. I thought I'd do a video again because us people that live in the Rust Belt, we have lots of issues with the rocker panels rotting out, and sometimes it looks a lot worse than it really is. So what I want to do is I'm going to come back here and show you. That's not good. That's a lift point for the back of the car. Okay. And yeah, it's kind of close to the suspension. Actually, I'm pulling, this is an all-wheel drive. I'm pulling the axle off, the whole subframe, and taking the gas tanks and everything else. But you can look right here, and you can see there's holes here. And what people don't realize is this: the part that rots away, most of it, is called the rocker cover, and it's just a thin piece of metal. It just makes it look pretty. If you didn't have this rocker panel here, you'd have this ugly looking inner frame rail. Okay, that in the old days they probably called it a rocker. You know, it probably came from the horse and buggy era. But if you look here, here is the rocker cover. Here is the inner frame rail or rocker right here. And if you look, there's a pinch weld. So when they jack up cars, the factory has locations where they want you to jack the car up, and it's kind of made strong, and they put like little notches here. All right, we'll head over to the other side over here. All right, you can see them better over here. All right, they want you to jack it up in this spot. All right, and if you look over here, here's another spot right here. All right, and that's kind of how the center of gravity is of the car for the shops to work on it. I like to go here because that ain't gonna bend. This has bent in the past, you can see. Another thing is, if you see these holes here, these are what hold on the cladding. But if you come over to this side of the car, all right, once the cladding starts falling off, here's where the holes are supposed to be. Well, if this rots out here, then now those pegs fall out, those plastic pegs fall out, and that's why you're losing your cladding on the bottom. So if you're looking at a Vibe and you see the back of that cladding hanging, it's probably rotted out. Well, it definitely is rotted out. All right. Let's see, I can't see anything up there. So, and it's just weird. Sometimes one side rots worse than the other. So, but for a structurally, these can be totally rotted out, and it ain't going to affect the structural of your car, because you got this piece here again, right here, that's solid as a rock usually. But look, it can be bad on the other end. All right, and then if you look, you can look in here, right here. There's still more metal. So there's like three pieces. You got the floor pan, you got the one, if you want to call it the rocker, and then you got the rocker cover, and they weld all three of them together. If you look, you can see there's one part there, there's another part there, and there's the other part of this floor pan there. All right, and we'll come over here. But again, look at that. That's just crazy. So that metal's much thicker. This metal here is probably double the thickness of this rocker cover here. And it's strong here. But I do see a lot of issues right here where the bottom of the car rots out. And anything that's rotted out here, that's the suspension spot. That's where your subframe mounts. So I'm pulling the subframe out too. But you want to look under the cars. I've seen a lot of cars lately where this spot here is all rotted out. You need to lay on the ground and look at the bottom of the car to look for stuff like this. There's a longer shot of the rockers here. Okay, but you know, all is not lost if these are rotted out. What's nice is these are hidden. You don't see these because they got that cladding on it. So these could be totally gone, 100%. All right. As long as you have this piece here, you're still good. All right. And if in an emergency, I don't know, if this is kind of gone, you still got this part, and this is strong, but you should be looking for a new car, because once this starts rotting out, it's just going to get worse. All right. So, but for those lucky people that don't live in the Rust Belt, or those people that live in North Dakota where they use sand, all right, or beet juice or whatever, they don't have this problem. On here, might as well just take you back here. This is the reason why I'm scrapping this car. Here is your rear subframe. All right, that's one of the mounting points, and it's breaking. You can see it, it's all bad. All right, and we'll come over here, and here's how it's supposed to, well, it's not supposed to look this rusty either, but this one's solid. So it's weird how some of them just rust out on one side and not on the other. And other places they rot out is in the back here too. And if you're ever driving a Vibe, yeah, they rot out up here. If you ever see in this tire, the tire's tipped like that, that means the subframe mounting point for that control arm on the top is rotted out, and that's why it's tipping. So, but being that I'm taking this apart, it's always good to see what these cars look like underneath. I just got this lift. All my other videos, I'm always laying on my back, and that's never fun. Yeah, see this little control arm here? What happens is this brake, this rots out here, right here. And when this rots out, this corner tips in, which pulls the top of that tire this way. So when you're buying a Vibe, look at the back tires, make sure they're not tipped. I guess that's it pretty much for now, because this is strictly on rockers. And look at all that, look at all that stuff falling on the ground from working on the Vibe here. So, but I like to share knowledge, and I want people to be, you know, I love my Vibes. I just want people to be aware, you know, you gotta lay on the ground and enjoy your cars from the Florida that aren't rusty. All right, Vibe that out. Want to do a quick addendum. This is an all-wheel drive Vibe, and they're the ones that have the issues with the rear subframe. The front-wheel drive Vibes don't have a rear subframe. They have what's called a trailing axle, so it's a totally different design than these control arms here. So if you get looking at an all-wheel drive, these are the ones that have the subframes that go bad. And they have a smaller gas tank, because look at this, the drive shaft from the front, it goes all the way to the back, goes right to where the gas tank was. So you lose all this, all right? So your gas tank's like 2 to 3 gallons smaller, plus the car's way more, and then they're more complex. But still, people love these cars for the all-wheel drive if they don't rot out. So just wanted to make sure that I'm talking about all-wheel drives having the rear subframes rotting out. There's really not much of an issue with the front-wheel drives. Look at that. Look at that. Vibe stock, baby. 2025. Check into Vibe stock. Vibe nut out.